Welcome to the Idaho Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial. Downtown Boise may seem an unlikely location to be dedicated to a young girl from so far away. But the legacy Anne left for human dignity is alive here.
Stop twirling and see if it stops.
The idea for this memorial was inspired by a traveling exhibit, Anne Frank in the World, which came to Idaho for a month in 1995. From across the state, 46,000 people saw it, nearly 5% of Idaho's population. This overwhelming interest sparked the idea for a permanent tribute and reminder. 3 Boise women were the visionaries and leaders of a grassroots, community-driven effort to build this memorial. From across Idaho and the country, citizens contributed nearly $2 million. After years of planning and preparing, this memorial opened in 2002.
What?
Though inspired by Anne Frank's faith in humanity, this is not a static space to reflect on her short life or even the horrors of the Holocaust. This place is meant to actively engage your highest ethical and spiritual values. To think, talk with one another, respond to the issues we face in our community and world. History shows us the origins of discrimination, violence, and hatred are never straightforward. The Holocaust is a clear example of the brutal end costs. But discrimination often begins with stereotyping, inappropriate jokes, bullying, and alienation.
There, get it.
This memorial tells us, think about the violations and triumphs of human rights.
Grab it.
Remember, there is a terrible cost for failing to act when action is required. Poet Maya Angelou wrote, "History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again." Visitors, please watch for bicycle traffic on the Greenbelt when moving to the next station.
Come on, Dad. I thought we were supposed to look for...
Look at the cuts on the cement floor. Imagine 8 people confined for 2 years in 2 primary rooms about the size of the saw cuts. The life-size statue of Anne Frank is by Greg Stone, a Massachusetts artist selected in a nationwide competition. The funds to build this statue were raised by Idaho schoolchildren. It captures Anne's restless curiosity as she cautiously looks out the window at the streets of Amsterdam. Her diary documents her curiosity for life and her keen observations. Her father, Otto, later recalled, "It took me a very long time before I could read it. And I must say, I was very much surprised about the deep thoughts that Anne had, her seriousness, especially her self-criticism. It was quite a different Anne than I had known as my daughter. She never really showed this kind of inner feeling. She talked about many things, criticized many things, but what her real feelings were, that I could only see from the diary." (1944). In late summer, after 25 months in hiding, the Gestapo and Dutch police came to the annex, led there by a tip from an unknown informant. All 8 were arrested. Poland's dreaded Auschwitz concentration camp was their destination, the final stop for many in the group. After months of hard labor, Anne and Margot were transported to Bergen-Belsen. In January 1945, their mother, Edith, died of exhaustion in Auschwitz. 2 months later, Anne and Margot died of starvation, exposure, brutality, and disease within a day of each other, weeks before Bergen-Belsen was liberated by Allied troops. The other 4 in hiding also died. Only Otto Frank survived. He was one of 7,650 prisoners still holding on when Auschwitz was liberated. A former helper of the family, Miep Gies, gave Otto the diary found on the floor of the annex after their capture, saying, Here is your daughter Anne's legacy to you. In 1947, the diary was published in Dutch and in English 5 years later. As you move to the next station, notice the passage on the wall. This memorial honors the triumph of the human spirit, so apparent in the brief life of Anne Frank.
I guess where do we go? Down on the green belt or?
Wherever the thing is. That thing was amazing. I wonder how he gets off that thing. Off that thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I don't know.
A volunteer committee selected the 60 quotes on this wall after a 2.5-year review.
Wait a minute.
These quotes represent a broad range of cultures and faiths and feature